Hi, welcome to Behind the Tone Studios. Today I wanted to show you a little project amp that I have. I stumbled upon this Fender Twin, got a very good deal on it. This amp has been quite beat up, as you can see here. It came with no grill cloth. The speakers, I believe, were replaced by, there's a couple new carbon speakers in here, so the speakers must have been trashed too. But the head itself is in very good shape and sounds amazing. This amp was manufactured in 1996. It was Fender's answer to at the time when Mesa was coming out with the high gain amps. This it's got its notorious clean of a Fender, but then it's got a real gainy channel in it too, as I'll show you a couple sound clips of it. And it's got a very good effects. And it also has reverb. It's called the Fender Twin. So like I said, what I'm going to do is take this out and put it in a head, because I like to be able to have this at head level and be able to dial in your tones. In a combo amp without on the floor, it's quite tough. Plus I really don't like the way a combo amp sounds, especially this one. It's missing some parts in the back, and I don't think that it was made with very good wood. You can see the cheap plywood in the front, and it looks like, you hit this thing and there's no tone in it whatsoever. You can see there's the back is just quite open air. It's missing a couple panels here. But the amp itself is amazing. He just had the 4 brand new Sovtek power tubes put in it, and then it has 8 preamp tubes. It's got I think it's 4 12AX7s. And then it's got 4 12AT7s, which are they're a little bit more low power, but I think that's where Fender gets their clean from. You got a impedance switch for different speaker options, 4, 8, and 16. It's got a loop, a really good effects loop. I'll show you in the sound. And it also has you can assign the reverb to different channels. So it's an amazing amp, and I love the way it sounds for leads and classic rock tones. It's just quite amazing. You can see here that they put in a couple brand new Carvin 1275s, which is Carvin's answer for the Celestion 75s, which is actually Celestion's cheapest speaker, which not many people are fond of. But anyways, as the combo unit, the amp sounds pretty lousy, but plugged into a good cab, it sounds quite good, as I'll show you from a few sound clips before we move into actually showing you when I put this into a head. You can see down here is a reverb tank, and that's it. So let me show you a few sound samples. Alright, one of the first things I noticed with this combo amp was how bad the combo it sounded. Well, when I looked back here, I noticed that the speakers were wired in series. 2 16-ohm speakers wired in series was plugged into an 8-ohm jack. Well, as we know from, let's say, I'm going to show you here on the Jensen site, their wiring diagram. When you wire something in parallel, then it brings down, it cuts the ohmage in half. It's like 2 16-ohm speakers would become 8 ohms. Whereas when they're running series, you're doubling the ohms. So this actually, this one actually was wired to come out as 30 ohms, about 30 ohms. I did check it. These speakers are showing about 13 to 14 ohms, and it was coming out to about 28 to 30 ohms, this setup, plugged into an 8. So that could explain why it sounded so bad. So my guess is that the person bought it, had it set up, and then was like shocked how bad it sounded and wanted to sell it. I actually got it for quite cheap, and I'm very happy because of the sound. But let me show you some of the sound samples. I'm going to show you how it sounded when I hooked it up in this configuration. Now, you should never, having ohmage, what I understand is that when you have like a 30 ohm speaker set up into an 8 ohm, it's not going to hurt it. Now, if it was the other way, if you were to run 4 ohm speakers into an 8 ohm, that's when the amp gets under too much pressure and will heat up. So it's not going to necessarily hurt it. It's not good for it. I've read in different Fender forums and stuff, but for the most part, it's not going to damage it too bad, I believe. I'm just going to show you real quick. and then I will show you with a cab too. Okay, now the first test we're going to do is with the combo speakers, which sound pretty bad. They are hooked up, like I said, wrong. So, and I did talk to the Fender consultant, and he said that it can damage the output transformer and the output stage of your amp. So it's not. He said if you have, you should do an 8 ohm to 8 ohm or 16 ohm to 16 ohm, and don't do mismatches. Now other people believe you can do them, but where I am going to try to stick to the general impedance. But I just wanted to show you how bad these combo speakers did sound. Here's the clean sounds. A little reverb. Clean with reverb off. Now I'll go into the vintage channel. And to the dirty channel. That's enough of that. You can see how horrible it sounds, and I don't even want to go any further than that. Let me hook up this Marshall cab and we'll show a few more sound clips. Okay, now we've got the Marshall cab with two vintage 30s, two greenbacks at 16 ohms hooked into the amp at 16 ohms. And we'll first of all try out our clean channel. Put on a little reverb. And also it's got a nice effects loop in here. I got a simple digital delay in the loop. Now a little delay and a little reverb. So you can see that from here the sound is much nicer, much more deep and full. Now we'll try the vintage channel. A little more gritty. You can turn off these effects and put a little more grit on there. Now we'll try the dirty channel. As you can see, the dirty channel sounds much more full and compact and chunky. And also this amp takes quite well to pedals. Here I have a DS1 I'll kick on in the vintage mode. So you can see, and then I'll put it onto the clean channel. So to me, with the cab, this amp just came much more alive, and I really liked it because it was quite pedal friendly, and it gives you a lot of options in there. We'll try it here with a little delay and reverb with the leads. So there you have it, the Fender Twin. Next video, I hope to have this baby into a nice looking head unit. Thank you.